Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron Pryor, and I'm going to be your instructor for Social Work 221, the Introduction to Social Work. And I'm going to make a quick video today just to give you an overview of the course, what to expect. We're going to review the syllabus, how to navigate the Blackboard side a little bit, and this will function kind of in lieu of a lecture for week one. So hopefully this class just kind of helps you get your bearings. I know that the start of the spring semester is going to be a little bit strange with the first couple weeks being remote, so we'll go over that as well during this video. And I'll go into a little bit more of an introduction to myself in our Flipgrid video, which you'll see as part of your assignment for week one. And I'll talk a little bit more about my background over the course of the semester as well. But today I just want to briefly just kind of go over our class and really just kind of welcome you to the course and give you a sense of what to expect. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to look at our Blackboard site, and we'll go through that together, and then we'll kind of like dive into the rest of the class. So I'm in student preview mode currently, so this should be exactly the same thing that you are looking at. And right now we are in the welcome about the course section, which is where you're going to find this video. You'll also see this in Unit 1 as well. And so this is just kind of a good landing point for the start of this class. Moving forward, when you click on this class, you're going to land on the announcement section instead. So as we get updates for the class, as I send out announcements, that's going to be the place where you're going to come into the class. So you'll always have quick access to any changes to the course. So diving into welcome about the course, let's just start by talking about what is this class. So this is Introduction to Social Work. I'm really excited to be teaching this. This is the first time I've taught this course. I've been teaching in the social work department as an adjunct for the past 5 years. I've been at USI for the past 6. I'm the program director for our TRIO Student Support Services program. But this is the first time I've taught the 221 class, and I'm really excited about it because 221 is all about learning about what is social work, what can you do with social work, and if you're considering social work as a career option, really answering the question at the end is social work right for me? So one thing you will find about myself is that I am honest, I am genuine, and we are not going to sugarcoat social work. So we're going to talk about all the amazing things that social work is about. We're also going to talk about all the kind of unpleasant things that social work addresses, and everything and anything in between. So this is really going to help you get a good sense of the profession as a whole. Below that, you'll see my contact information. Like I said, I do work here at USI in a different capacity. I'm not a full-time faculty member. As I oversee our TRIO program here, I am on site, but my office hours as such are going to be by appointment only, because my office hour, or my Monday through Friday 8 to 4:30 is working with our TRIO folks. But as I am here and available, I can still meet with folks, but we need to get that by appointment. So just kind of make sure that you know that. This is my office phone number and email, which are the best ways to reach me. And I'm not in the social work office. I'm actually in Education 1141, which is kind of around the academic skills area, the Center for Exploring Majors. I'm in that same area. Our class is going to meet every Monday from 6 p.m. until 8:45 p.m. And so the exception being week one, it's just going to be a recorded video, this video for you to watch. And then week 2 and week 3, we'll get into a little bit later, are going to be via Zoom. And then we're going to be meeting in person after that. Next, you see some of the course objectives and competencies, which you can go back and read. And scattered throughout the course, you're going to see different videos that dive into a little bit about social work, the social profession, what to expect. And so this is just one of those videos where you're getting a glimpse into the life of a social worker. And then the last thing you see on here is a link that says, make sure you read the syllabus, especially during week one. That really just links you back here to this syllabus and course calendar section. So let me go ahead and open up the syllabus. We're going to talk through it a little bit. Okay, let me make this larger for you guys. So we already kind of covered the top part. Like I said, 6 p.m. to 8:45. I don't have the date on here, but it's going to be every Monday. So make sure that you have that down. We're going to be meeting starting week 4 in LA 1015, which is at the very end of the hall on the left. Make sure that when we do resume class that you are wearing a mask. That is a university requirement, so please make sure that you bring your mask to class. You'll obviously be socially distanced in the classroom. We will have points of engagement through the class, but when we do those, we'll talk about it more as we get closer to time. We'll make sure to spread out, or it'll be something that you can do in your area without getting out of your seat, or I'll allow time for you to leave the room and find a place where you can socially distance to meet with members of your group and that kind of thing. So course description, I'm not going to go into diving into a lot of the specifics, but I do always like to read over the course description just because it gives you a sense of the class. This course is an introduction to the field of social work and is a prerequisite for all the required social work courses. The class is designed to expose the student to professional social work, critical thinking, an overview of systems theory, and the relationship of the social worker to the social welfare system. We look at general social work practice, the NASW code of ethics, and the roles of the social worker. Special emphasis will be placed on helping the student develop an understanding and appreciation for diversity, social and economic justice, disabilities, and populations at risk. One further note is that if you are, and it kind of goes into a little bit down here as well, is that if you are interested in pursuing the BSW program here at USI, this is one of 4 required social work classes, in addition to some other program prerequisites that you have to complete. You need to earn no less than a C in this class, and really you need to be shooting for an A or B if you're looking for admission into the program. So make sure that you give this class your attention and energy, especially if this is your desired major. So regarding formatting and teaching methodology and all that kind of good stuff, regarding the spring 21 semester, classes will start in a synchronous online format through February 8th, unless you hear something otherwise from myself or the university. And those first sessions will be conducted on Zoom. And we'll dive into that in a little bit. Some more information on course objectives, if you want to go back and look at that. We will talk about the CSWE during the class. If you are pursuing your BSW, you're going to be exposed to different competencies. This just explains which competencies are being covered in the class. Here's your core textbook. This is Introduction to Social Work and Social Welfare by Zastro. You will need this book. We will be referring to it. You have course readings that you're going to be doing as well. So make sure that you do have the text. And then we'll also be having some additional handouts and case studies and things that I'll be posting on Blackboard as well, beyond the textbook. But if your question is, do I need the textbook? The answer is yes, you for sure need the textbook. So make sure and get that as soon as you can. And 12th edition is preferable. I haven't looked at the 11th edition, so I don't have a comparison. My guess is that would probably be okay for this class, but you will have access to some course materials later for some of your graded exam work. So you're going to want to make sure that if you do get the 11th one, that you do a comparison, because I'm honestly up front not sure what it is missing. So shoot for the 12th edition if possible. Minimum technology, obviously, for the first couple weeks, especially you need access to the internet and computer. You still will at later points as well, because our exams will be online, and you're going to be submitting your assignments online as well. Instructor feedback. So a lot of the feedback, because this is an in-person class, will come through in-person conversations, but you'll also get stuff through announcements, like I mentioned. You'll get stuff on your individual grading feedback when you submit assignments. So it's kind of all over the place, but you may also get emails and things as well. So just make sure that you're watching kind of all the usual places for communication from myself. Here are the course requirements and grades. So this class is out 450 points. If you're looking for that minimum threshold for the BSW, you need at least 315 to get the bare essential C for that class. But obviously you want to shoot higher. And the point breakdown is as such. So we're going to have 2 exams in the class, 100 points each. We're going to have 11 in-class exercises for 10 points apiece. And you're going to have 2 reflection papers, 20 points each. And then you're going to have a large agency paper, just 1 in total, 100 points each. So now you guys are kind of lucking out a little bit with the agency paper. I don't know if lucking out is the correct way to say that, because normally you have volunteer hours that accompany the agency paper. Because of COVID, that is not going to be a requirement this year. And so it's kind of a downside in that, you know, there is a lot of benefit in getting out and getting hands-on with the agencies that you're interested in. And so but I do encourage you, when you approach the agency paper later, that if you like what you see with the agency that you're researching, that you find ways to get involved and keep them on your radar. But there will not be a volunteer component during COVID. So late policy, the main thing that I want to identify here is that if something has come up, just communicate with me the best you can. You know, I prefer over communication, honestly. Like if you're thinking, I don't know if I should communicate this with my professor, if he cares that much, just go ahead and shoot me a quick email. So at the very least, you know, I'll just say like, oh, I didn't really need to know that, that's fine. But on the flip side, if something is going wrong in your world, whether it be educational, professional, personal, whatever, I can't work with you if I don't know that there is something going on. So please just maintain communication with me, for sure. Below that, we're talking about an assignment overview. So like I said, the exams, a lot of multiple choice, true, false, matching, short answer. We'll get to those. There'll be exam reviews in the class, so don't sweat this too much. We'll talk more about it in class. Like I said, we're going to have some in-class exercises. You will be graded for participation in that, and that includes the Zoom sessions as well. We're going to do some exercises in there, so make sure that you attend. If you're not in class, you'll not be able to earn the points for that week's in-class exercise unless there's a documented reason for you missing class. So make sure that you are participating, and that know that if you don't come to class and you don't have a documented reason for missing class, those are points that you can't make up. I can be flexible about some things, but it's really hard to make up points for something that requires you to participate and you not be able to participate. So reflection papers, so we're going to have two each. Those will be listed on Blackboard. We'll go into that. And then we'll have a section for the agency paper as well. Below that, we're talking about USI college and departmental policies. These are in just about every syllabus you probably ever have seen or come across, so just know that those exist. If you need some academic support services, know that those are listed on here as well. Things like academic skills, the writer's room, the library website. I'm going to just kind of briefly talk about the counseling center. Maybe this is the social worker in me coming out, I'm not sure, but I know that during COVID especially, folks have had a tremendous uptick in mental health issues. Suicide rates have been on the rise. Cases of depression and anxiety have been on the rise. I have watched within our program students who are A+ students drop out of school because of the added family stressors and stressors of education and shifting formats. And so the counseling center is here for you, right? The counseling center is here both when you're in crisis, but also if you just need some maintenance too, right? Like if you're just feeling just a little bit off, you know, go to the counseling center and try to kind of hit that reset button. They're a great resource for you. If you're here on campus, you're paying for their services. You get up to 12 sessions or not a semester, a year. So please utilize them if you need to. It is not doesn't say anything about your character or who you are if you utilize them. It is a healthy thing to do. So make sure to utilize them if you need to. Okay, here's a link to the BSW handbook if you're interested in looking into that. And then below is the course calendar. So I'm going to take a couple minutes to talk about the course calendar because it's really kind of strange it's a strange start to a semester. So Unit 1, well, actually, let's look at this kind of overall first. So this is broken down into 3 units. So Unit 1 is what is social work. Unit 2, what do social workers do? And then Unit 3 is, well, I forgot to put the title on here, but it is social work right for me? It really kind of come right here. It's the kind of the course wrap up. It's our last objective. And so within each one, the topics kind of fall in line with that overall unit theme. So week 1, we're looking at kind of introduction to the course, but then starting week 2, we're looking at social work as a profession and a career, and then general social work practice for week 3. And then we start diving into some of the specific topic areas that the social work addresses as well. Okay, so week 1, you're watching a video right now. We will not meet due to the semester starting on a Tuesday. So our class meets on Monday. If the semester started on a Monday, we would be having a Zoom meeting instead, but instead you're going to watch a video. Your required reading is the syllabus. Please make sure to go through and check out all of the specifics. If you have questions, no, don't text me, email me, call me, shoot me an email, whatever you need to do there. And then the assignment due is you're going to introduce yourself via Flipgrid. So you'll see that in a second when we go to the Blackboard, what I'm talking about. Starting week 2, we're going to have an online meeting during class time. So Monday at 6 p.m., you're going to log on to our Zoom session and we're going to have class. Okay, we're going to start going through content. We're going to start getting to know one another. We're going to have an in-class exercise. So make sure that you are in attendance for week 2. And then you're also going to start looking at and thinking about your first reflection paper, which will come at the end of week 3. Week 3, we're talking general social work practice. Again, like week 2, online meeting during class time on Zoom. Same idea as week 2. And then starting week 4, we're going to be in person. So talking about racism, ethnocentrism, and strategies for advancing social and economic justice, reading chapter 12 in the text will be our first in-person session, okay? And then one thing I want to also point out, so starting week 4 and forward, we're going to be in person with a couple exceptions. So on exam days, so week 7, for example, and then on week 16, those exams are going to be online exams. You're going to do them through Blackboard. So we will not meet in person for those, okay? So, so make sure that you kind of note that. And then the other, we will be meeting in person, but one thing I want to bring out or bring your attention to is I have a lot of guest speakers planned for this class. And so I think currently I have 5 locked in. That may change, if something comes up and someone can't attend, so be it. If we are able to get someone else in addition, that's awesome. But I have pulled guest speakers from across the social work field to come in and like talk to you about what is it they do, what their journey was like, so that you can get a sense of the expansiveness of the social work profession, okay? So for example, Dr. Jamie Walters is going to be coming in and talking about macro social work. She will be joining us via Zoom because she works for Utah State University. The other 4 speakers will be coming to us in person. Stephen Oakley will be coming in talking about counseling. Sharon Dare will be talking about drug treatment and mental health. Macy Cox is a current MSW student and graduated from the BSW program. She's going to be coming in and talking about school social work, but also there to answer some of your questions and be a source if you have questions about the BSW or MSW program from someone who just went through it and is currently going through it. And then we're going to bring in Adam Hollenbacher as well to come in and talk about gerontological services, hospice, medical social work as well. So a lot of really good stuff coming up in the class. I hope you really find the guest speakers to really add something to the class. I know that it's one thing to like hear about it and read about it, but it's another thing to have someone in front of you that you can ask questions and get honest feedback about the profession. It's one of the intents of this class is to help you figure out, is social work right for me? And what better way to know that than to speak with including myself, 6 different social workers from different fields to help figure that out. So back here on the syllabus course calendar section, here we are again, just an overview of that course calendar if you ever get confused. There it is. Office hours are going to be preferred, even though we're meeting in person. Office hours are still going to be preferred via Zoom or over the phone. Just due to COVID, we're trying to reduce as much physical contact as we can. So that's one way for us to do that. I'm also available before class if we have some questions as well. So kind of as a general policy, my goal and plan is not to remain after class for more than a couple minutes, just to kind of get everyone wrapped up and moving out of the building and that kind of stuff. But if we need to meet before class, that's okay too. So, so just kind of know that's available. This is a link to my Zoom if we need to set up office hours. The announcement section is currently blank, but as I said, this is will be loaded with information as the semester goes on. So the most important area, let's jump down here to content. So Unit 1, what is social work? This coincides with our syllabus. This kind of gives you an overview of what we're covering in Unit 1. But then we have it broken down by week. So one thing I do want to point your attention to is that if there's something odd about that week, I've tried to identify it on the kind of landing page before you go into the week. So for example, week 1, I have that this week will be kind of self-directed, 100% online. Week 2 will be meeting in Zoom. Week 3 will be meeting in Zoom. Week 4 is that first day of in-person, please wear a mask. And then week 7 is that online exam, will not meet in class. So, so just kind of watch for those things too. I try to highlight and make them bold so that you don't miss them. But then once you dive into the content, then here's where we get into like the meat of the class itself. Now, like I said, our class is meeting in person, but week to week, there's still going to be stuff loaded up for you on Blackboard. So there's going to be some supplemental reading articles listed. There's going to be some supplemental videos. For week 1, you're also going to introduce yourself on Flipgrid. This is your assignment for week 1. This is your participation for week 1. So you're going to click on Flipgrid. It's going to take you to an external site, and you're going to go out and you're going to introduce yourself. Anything that you want to share about your desired future, hobbies, anything about your family, whatever it is that you want to share. This kind of gives you a sense to also get an idea of who is going to be in the class even before we come back together in person. And it's hard to get to know people via Zoom too. So this is one way for us to have just kind of a conglomeration of the people who are in our class and a little bit of background about themselves. So, so that's week 1. Let's jump back to Unit 1, week 2, just so that you can see it kind of repeats itself. One thing that you will notice is that there are slides in here as well. These slides, I don't think you can see them in the way that I'm sharing my screen right now, but the slides that are in here are pulled from the text. So these are a companion to the textbook itself. So I may upload some additional information as the semester goes on, but really what these slides do is they help you to get a sense of the main topic areas of the reading. And so I suggest going in, looking at the PowerPoint first, and then going in and doing your chapter reading, because it helps you identify what are going to be some of the key things to look at. And then, here's some supplemental videos. Here's a link to the NASW Code of Ethics. And then this is kind of the first introduction to your reflection paper. It's actually due at the end of week 3. But if something is coming up due in the class, I usually will put the link or the submission link in all the weeks leading up to it also, so that you're actively thinking about it. You'll see every unit also starts with kind of what to do during this week. And at the bottom here says, this week you should, and this is like kind of your checklist. So read chapter 2, watch a brief history of social work, review the NASW Code of Ethics, watch the TED Talk, and then submit reflection 1 due on the 7th. Okay, you'll see that repeated over and over again. Just for one more, here's week 3, boom, chapter 3, CSWE and ASW, strengths perspective. So even though we're meeting in class, here's a couple other things you should be doing within that week. Okay. Boom. Week 4, same thing. There's the slides for chapter 12, which will be what we covered in week 4. So, and then, you know, here's a link to the agency paper and that kind of stuff too, so that you start thinking about that. So you're going to see that over and over and over again on these units. Is how all of those are designed. If you click on the assignments section, this is just a general landing page for both reflection papers and your agency paper. You don't need to get a jump start on these necessarily, but if you want to come in and start reading about what they're going to be about, how long they are, what the requirements are, they're there for you to do that. But I encourage you to wait closer to time to turn them in until we get a chance to talk more about the topic areas within the class. There's also an exam section. There's nothing on here at the moment. When the exams open up, they will open on one date and they will close on another. So you won't be able to see them until it's time. So just as a reference there. And then below that on the left-hand side are just kind of some general resources, the Rice Library, social work department info, some general student services, technical support, Blackboard tools, and those kinds of things as well. So let me go ahead and stop sharing there and just kind of finish out our video. That was an overview of the syllabus, an overview of the course calendar, a little bit of overview of how to navigate the Blackboard site and what to expect, and what to expect generally from the course as well. So I'm probably not going to do many more videos for this class since we're going to be meeting in person. But for this first week, I wanted you to have something to refer back to, and so that we're not starting off, you know, on a bad foot and getting lost in the class and that kind of stuff. So just make sure that following this video, you get out there, you can do your Flipgrid video. I am really excited to go through and watch all those and just get to learn about the folks who are going to be in my class. So I'm really jazzed about that. It also gives me a chance to see your faces without a mask, because once we're in person, you know, I only get to see this. And so I like to see the smiling faces that are going to be out there. And just fair warning, this happens to me. I've noticed this during COVID times, is that, you know, I've been in my program here at USI in my in TRIO Student Support Services for 6 years. And there are people who have been in this program almost as long as I've been here. And I'll pass them in the hall and not recognize them because of their mask. So, so if ever we're crossing paths and I don't acknowledge you, it's not personal. It's the fact I probably didn't recognize you. So, so I would be one of those people that in the movies where they're wearing this, if someone is a superhero by night and an average Joe during the day, and they put those that mask over their eyes, and people are like, how don't you recognize that that's them? I would definitely be one of those people that wouldn't recognize it. So just kind of putting that out there as a public service announcement. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning into the video. As you're navigating this first week, if you have questions, reach out, let me know. And that holds true throughout the course as well. I'm here to help answer any questions you have. I look forward to meeting with you. Look forward to seeing you guys in person. Look forward to even chatting on week 2 on Zoom. So, and if you have questions about that Zoom, if you go to the office hours page, that same Zoom link for the office hours is the same link that you're going to use to log on in those first 2 weeks. So just to clarify that. So, all right, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Like I said, I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care.